Good evening and welcome to the People's Platform. Clean drinking water is a basic human right, but across several districts in Sri Lanka, access to clean drinking water has been a major issue for residents of multiple villages. We are aware that the state has continuously attempted to rectify this issue by adopting various mechanisms and methodologies. There is also unfortunately a high incidence of cases of chronic kidney disease or CKD in different districts in Sri Lanka. One of the solutions adopted has been the establishment of RO plants or reverse osmosis plants. Another more far-sighted approach has been to use regional cooperation, research and development to devise solutions to this issue. That will be the focus of tonight's discussion. China-Sri Lanka Joint Research and Demonstration Center for Water Technology. This is a center that has been established on the premises of the University of Peradeniya as a result of an MOU signed between the Ministry of Urban Development and Water Supply and Drainage Board and the Chinese Academy of Sciences in China back in 2015. Pursuant to this, we have in Sri Lanka a team of highly specialized professors, intellectuals. I am so pleased to welcome to the studio Professor Min Yang from the Research Center for Eco-Environmental Science. Good evening to you.
Good evening.
Also joining us is Professor Wei Yuan Song, also from the Research Center for Eco-Environmental Science. Good evening and welcome.
Yeah, good evening.
Professor Min, my first question to you is, could you speak to us on the kind of work that you do, how important it is for Sri Lankans to realize that clean drinking water is such a basic need, but also it's so important for us to establish that research and development is used, cooperation is used to enable this passage of clean drinking water to all its citizens.
Okay, so to provide clean water to everybody is one of the sustainable development goals of the United States, United Nations, right?
Yes.
So, but provide the safe drinking water is not an easy issue because in different regions you may have different water quality issues. And so, as you said, that CKDU is a regional disease in Sri Lanka, and it's one of very big challenge for Sri Lankan people. So we were informed that you're worrying about this issue and try to understand the causing factors of CKDU and which might be associated with drinking water quality.
Right.
So, and because of this, because we, the Research Center for Eco-Environmental Sciences, Chinese Academy of Sciences, we are one of the prestigious institutes in China in the research of environment, particularly on drinking water quality.
Right.
And so that's why we are here. And so we have signed an agreement with the Ministry of Water Supply under the witness of the national leaders of both countries, and saying that we would like to establish a joint research center for water technology. And this joint center the construction of this joint center was supported by the Chinese government using the Chinese government aid. And so this JRDC, we call it JRDC, is now in operation and is functioning. And at the same time, we have initiated a joint research program on identifying the causing factors of CKDU and providing the solutions to these groundwater issues. And through a very holistic water quality survey in the CKD affected area, we found that the major differences of water quality between the CKD affected area and other regions is that in the affected area, the groundwater contains calcium and fluoride in higher concentrations. So we then will conduct animal tests and to try to find what might be the major factors. And then we found through the long-term animal test, we found that the simultaneous occurrence of fluoride ions and calcium ions with a higher level concentrations seems to be a potential causing factor. And so through this research, we understand what might be the potential hazardous chemicals. And then we have worked hard on the technology development for the simultaneous removal of fluoride and calcium from the groundwater.
Okay.
And then we have succeeded in developing a technology called the electrodialysis technology, which we have, using this technology, we have developed equipment and with a capacity of supplying water of 300 cubic meters per day. And this equipment was transported to Sri Lanka, installed in a CKD affected village. And this equipment was operated since 2017. And it was proved that equipment was very efficient, could purify the water with a high quality and with an extremely low cost. So this technology is now recognized by the Ministry of Water Supply, and we are trying to use this technology to apply to the different parts of the CKDU affected area, and we are talking about to develop a kind of joint venture model for the purpose of producing this kind of equipment in Sri Lanka locally.
Thank you, Professor Min. That sounds fascinating and also very scary.
Yeah.
Professor Wei, I'd like to come to you and also ask you to elaborate on the kind of work that you're engaged in with Professor Ming and your team. Speak to us about the research, the survey, and also about the findings.
Yes, thank you so much. So that is not so easy to carry out such kind of research and field investigation. So with your government and people support, so you know, and your government and change 3 times, and the minister also changed, and the secretary, roughly 3 honorable minister changed in the Ministry of Water Supply, and 8 secretaries, and also including the water board. And that is some change, but it doesn't matter. So we have very close the partners. So especially each government, also help us. For example, in the beginning, the honorable minister and also the additional secretary meeting, and now the additional secretary nephew help us, lots of us, to coordinate such the research and also field investigation. And from the Professor Lohan, Professor Pala, and Professor Xiamin from the University of Pennsylvania, they also help us. And I think that they are a very important person, the Dr. Walagada, S.K. Walagada. He helped us a lot to coordinate such the research, field investigation, and demonstration in Sri Lanka side. So, and along with the cooperation, we are also have more than 34 Sri Lanka students study in Chinese academic sciences, including the PhD and the masters for this. Because for this field investigation, we need the Sri Lanka students help do this research, because they know the local situation. They know it very well, so that is also very good for them to make contribution to your country. So, and based on our Professor Myung's guide and leadership, so we do this is very successful. From the first we should understand the water quality situation. So we make the field investigation in the CKD affected area, especially in the north central province, like the Annapurna, Port Nanuwa. So make under the groundwater, including the dark well and the tuber well. So in the dry season and in the monsoon, in the wet season, to carry out the field investigation. Based on this, the water quality survey, so we know the problem, like the high concentration of calcium, fluoride, and so then we can, based on this, to develop and the suitable and cost-effective technology like the EDR for the local people. Then based on all of this carried out, your Sri Lankan students, our partners, like this is the professors, and join us together. So and then we make the demonstration. So EDR was installed in 2017 September. The nanofiltration installed in 2018 September. So and also 2 days ago we also had the easy maintenance water treatment plant for the Matale village. And our ambassador and the U.S. State Minister also took part in the ceremony for the transfer. So all of this, your student, your local government, and also help us, for example, to select the community to make the demonstration. You are the Department of National Community Water Supply, the DG, the HALAT, and help us also lots. Yeah, that is very helpful for joint work to this to achieve the target to provide safe drinking water for the local people. Yeah.
I'm really glad to hear that there has been multi-sectoral, multi-stakeholder cooperation and collaboration in with regard to this project. Professor Min, in order for the research findings to be successfully implemented, people across Sri Lanka also need to be educated on what they should do, what they shouldn't do, what are the technologies that are being adopted. Speak to us about how important it is for these research findings to find its way to the people in a language that they understand, in a way that they comprehend.
Actually, and we are lucky that we have a very excellent partners during our collaboration.
Okay.
And the people working in the university, in the ministry, and also in the water board, they are smart people. They can understand the scientific findings, the technology very easily. And so I think what is the major challenge is that you don't have the facilities, you don't have the industry to support you to solve the problems. And so,
could you elaborate on that?
for example, in the universities, you have good education systems, you have good, excellent students and excellent professors who got their PhD in overseas countries, right? But you don't have the capacity to perform your research. For research, you need sophisticated equipment. And so through this project, the collaboration, GRDC is well equipped with very sophisticated equipment. And so now we have many good equipments. And so the professors, the technicians, they are very excited. They all of them want to make full use of these equipment. I think this will be a very important step to enhance the capacity of research in the country.
Okay, fantastic. Professor Wei, I'd like your perspectives on the research findings and again taking it to the people, and by that I mean taking into consideration the fact that people in, for example, the villages of Anuradhapura and Polonnaruwa, their socio-economic status, the educational background may limit them from understanding the research findings in that exact form. So, which means that there will have to be a middleman or a stakeholder who will have to translate what you've done into simple language, into little brochures or leaflets, which can be distributed among the people so that they understand what you've done. So, in your experience, how does that process work? Once you as the experts do your scientific research and give it to the government, then what are the effective ways in which these messages can be translated so that the people also understand?
Yes, it's a good question. I think the first, for our research finding for the implementations, first we need to develop the easy maintenance, easy operation technology, cost effective. This is very important. This is one. The second, so we need work together, like the CBO and the water board, the CBO. I think because they know the local people. And also, I think that is very important. The factor is the Sri Lanka students. They study in our general academic sciences.
Right.
They do research here. They do something like, for example, for demonstration, the project of water treatment. When our students come here, they can talk with your local language, Sinhala language. So we cannot understand, but our Sri Lanka students can help us do that. That is one thing. The second, URCBO also have lots of some program for education the local people. Then tell them what is important for the safe drinking water. And the third, during the demonstration, the water treatment plant demonstration, our technical support is also very important. All of this we can through our Sri Lanka partners like Water Board, CBO, and our Sri Lanka students to do the troubleshooting. When they have some problems in the operation and maintenance, they can help us. This otherwise it's not so easy. So from research finding to the implementation, there are lots of work together, should be work together. So especially the Sri Lanka side, the contribution is very, very important. Your people knows their needs, and also it's easy to communicate with them. So that is very, very important. The Water Board, CBO, and Sri Lanka students. That is very important. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. We go in for a short commercial break. We'll be right back.
ඉදිරියට තියෙන ලොකුම අභියෝගනේ ජයග්‍රහණය කර අපේ කණ්ඩායම ලෝකුස්ත්‍රාණ සඳහා එක් වේවා කියලා මම ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා. Stand with the Lions.
එළඹෙන ඕනෑම මොහොතක් අලුත් දෙයක් කරන්න සුදුසුයි කියලා හිතන එක තමයි වඩාත්ම ධනාත්මක.
දැන් මූල්‍ය අරමුදලේ ගැන අපි සාකච්ඡා කරලා තියෙනවා. ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එක ගැන, ඉසරස්ම ගැන. ඒගොල්ලෝ කියන්නේ මේකත් අවස්ථාවක්. ඒ කියන්නේ අපිට අලුත් ආරම්භයක් කරන්න.
අපි පසුගාමීව හිතන හැම මොහොතකම අපිට ඊළඟ අඩිය තියා ගැනීම ගැන ප්‍රශ්නයක් එනවා තමයි.
අර පරණ දේවල් පැත්තකට තියලා මේ පරණ ආකල්ප පැත්තකට තියලා අපි රැවුණ වැරදි වලින් අපි ඉගෙන ගන්නත් ඕන. හැම එකමත් හදා බල ඉන්න බෑ. රටක් හැටියට හිතන්න ඕන. ඒතර අපිට එතනින් පටන් ගන්න අවස්ථාවක් තියෙනවා.
මිලින්ද සමග නියමාර්ථය ඉරිදා රාත්‍රී 10:30ට විස්මය පිරුණු 2023 ක්‍රිකට් ලෝක කුසලාන සුදුසුකම් ලැබීමේ තරගාවලියේ තරග වදින අපේ කොල්ලන්ගේ තරගකාමීත්වය මග නොහැර නරඹන්න ජූනි 18 සිට ජුලි 9 වෙනිදා දක්වා සිම්බාබ්වේහිදී පැවැත්වෙන තරගාවලියේ තරග පැවැත්වෙන සෑම දිනකම සජීව විකාශය දහවල් 12:30 සිට සිරස TV සහ TV1 ඔස්සේ.
Welcome back. We are in conversation with Professor Min Yang and Professor Wei Yuan Song, both from the Research Center for Eco-Environmental Science. Professors, you're both here pursuant to an MOU signed between the governments of Sri Lanka and China to gain your cooperation with respect to enabling and ensuring clean drinking water for Sri Lankans, reducing the incidence of chronic kidney disease in Sri Lanka. Professor Min, I'd like to get your perspectives on the way forward in terms of this collaborative project that is going on between the two governments. What are the measures that can be taken to maximize the role of this center, the Joint Research and Demonstration Center for Water Technology? Because the work that you have done, the research findings that you have done, can't stop here. It has to go on. It has to result in benefit for the people of Sri Lanka, which is why you're here. Speak to us about this role of continuity.
Okay, so we visit Sri Lanka this time. The major purpose is to think about or talk about the collaboration of the second phase. So what should we do cooperate by using JRDC as a platform? So we have talked about a lot, and so the university try to enhance their capacity for research, and the Ministry of Water Supply, they try to improve their capacity in coping with the water supply challenges under the circumstances of climate change and the different issues. So we are talking about by making full use of the capacity of GRDC, and so we can think about to identify the challenges in water supply, particularly for water supply in rural area, because in different villages they may have different challenges. So we need to identify the major challenges in water supply in rural area, and then for each challenge we need to provide a solution through scientific research, right? So we are talking about to make a holistic survey of the water supply issues in Sri Lanka, particularly in the rural area, and then we will work together with our partners, particularly in the University of Pennsylvania, to develop the technology that are suitable for the application in the rural area. At the same time, the water board, they are also facing different challenges. For example, how to update their water supply systems, and how to reduce the energy consumption, right? And so particularly in your country, you see, for water supply issues, you are working hard, but to make the water safe, actually we have to think about the wastewater issues. Otherwise, source water could be contaminated by water pollution, right? So in Sri Lanka now, the wastewater treatment percentage is very low. So we have to think about how to make a holistic plan for the country to solve the water pollution issues. And for the university, they are also want to develop their capacity in research, and particularly they want to create some novel graduate education programs by integrating the knowledge of different disciplines. So I think in the second phase we should think about to solve the drinking water problems and provide the solutions, and have some demonstrations of the technologies. And then, more important, if we find some technologies are very suitable to be applied, we have to think about the scheme mechanism to apply it, to apply this technology. And in order to solve all of these challenges, problems, we cannot rely on just the support from the foreign countries, right? Sri Lanka has to do it by yourself. So we are thinking about if we find some suitable technologies, is it possible to have some startup business, some using the market power to drive the development of technologies or the businesses in providing the solutions to the country.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yes, absolutely. And I think the private sector can also get involved in this.
They should.
Yeah.
They can provide very efficient solution to these problems. And so I'm expecting in the future, we not only just cooperate on the education research, we have to also think about to create a situation for people to start up their businesses. I think only through this market mechanism we can solve the challenges. We can cope with the challenges and very efficiently. So,
okay, fantastic. Thank you for clarifying that. Professor Wei, earlier on in the conversation you spoke about the technology, electrodialysis. Speak to us about, in simple terms, if you could just explain to our viewers, how are the toxic substances like the calcium and the fluoride separated, that whole process, so that people ultimately get the clean drinking water?
Yes. Electrodialysis just is a very traditional technology, but it's also we do the innovation for this one, for the drinking water, because in here the groundwater there are high calcium and high fluoride. So because we need to consider the cost for the purify the pollutant, so we found and develop the innovative electrodialysis technology for this groundwater drinking water supply for this one. So that is very effective and efficient to remove the calcium and the fluoride. So that is good. So your government and also want to think about it's possible to set up a joint venture to spread this in Sri Lanka in the rural areas. I think that is very good. And this technology is not so complicated. It's also easy to maintain and operate. So that is be good for the community and the village. That's kind of rural area. Yeah.
Professor Ming, this is, I think, a beautiful example where we see academia getting involved in solving real life issues. Speak to us about the journey you've had, the experiences you've had working with the University of Peradeniya, the professors there, the students there. Speak to us about that. How
okay, so I think we are creating a new model for international collaboration. So we have the ministry there, right? And the industry there, and then we have the university. So we include all these partners and integrate them together to have the collaboration. So when we collaborate with the universities, university professors, and we can generate new technology and knowledge, right? And at the same time, we can educate the young generation, the students. Okay, these are also the collaboration products.
Yeah.
And then when we have some solutions, some technologies, and then we can transfer it to the government, to the industry. So we are in a very good circle, right? And so the technology can be moved among the government, the industry, the education university. So they have a very good circulation, and I think this will be very efficient in promoting the technology development, knowledge transfer, and the technology implementation.
Okay. Professor Wei, when we take the issue of chronic kidney disease in Sri Lanka, it's heartbreaking to see how people in different districts go through this, are victimized by this, and don't know what to do as a result. So thanks to studies such as these, collaborations such as these, we can now look at maybe a phasing out of this crucial issue that people have faced in Sri Lanka. In terms of being solution oriented, how long do you think it'll take for the results to really kick in, where people wouldn't have to worry about being negatively impacted by CKDUs?
Yes, that is a good question, because according to the report, Ministry of Health, the CKD patients is already decreasing.
Okay.
It is in decreasing. That's a good signal. That is a very good indicator. So I'm not sure how long we can finish all these things, but with the improving safe drinking water supply, the situation will be better and better in the near future. And the economy also will be developed, and the safe drinking water is also provided, and the people knows more knowledge about the health. They also can look after themselves. That be these can be combined together. I think it should be finished in the near future. I really believe this, and it's similar in our country. The local disease, when they improve the drinking water, the situation will be changed a lot. So that's I believe, yeah.
Professor Ming, I want to allude to something that you said earlier on in the conversation. How important is it for the Sri Lankan state, the Sri Lankan people, to take ownership over this issue, finding solutions to this issue above and beyond the cooperation and the collaboration with its regional partners, to empower its academia, to empower its other stakeholders to really find solutions to this issue in particular by using technology? How important is it for us as Sri Lankans to get more involved in the process of finding solutions?
Yes, so that's a major purpose we are doing the business, the collaboration, and so we are not just coming here to transfer our technology and then we leave, right? We want to collaborate with the professors, and so we have jointly construct the GRDC with good equipment, well-equipped instruments, and so now we have the capacity for research, and then we will cooperate with the professors, and we cooperate with each other on the development of new technologies, and at the same time the students will be educated, and so I think after 5 or 10 years, the research level in the whole country will be much higher, and you will have many more young scholars in the country or engineers in the country who has a higher ability to solve the problem and develop the technology or implement the technology. So I believe 5 or 10 years later, we will have a much better situation and to see that the Sri Lankan people can do the research and do the can implement the novel technology mainly by yourself. Okay. Of course, we hope we can still work together and to cope with the future challenges.
Yeah. And if you could add to that, Professor Wei?
Yes, I think that is a good way for cooperation, especially for the young talent. The talent cultivation through the cooperation and also by yourself. So the young people is the future. So I believe Sri Lanka, because Sri Lanka is young people also, is more and more young people are well educated and also do research. I think in the future there will be have more and more contribution to this to solve this problem. Yeah.
Professor Ming Yang and Professor Wei Yuan Song from the Research Center for Eco-Environmental Science, thank you so much for being a part of this interview. Thank you for your role and contribution in helping Sri Lanka tackle such a crucial, pivotal issue. Thank you for the service that you render.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
It's our pleasure. Yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you for watching us. We'll see you again on Monday with the next edition of the People's Platform. Good night.
Yeah.